What is going on, everybody? We are back with another CCW review. I am Nick,
And I am Joe.
and I just watched a Dynamite that was half the length but 3 times as good as the last pay-per-view that AEW put on.
That is very true. This was a much better showing.
Oh man, guys, listen, I am not kidding when I say this. This is easily a top 3 to 5 Dynamite since I've been watching AEW. I don't
It's an upper half for sure.
there is not really one thing that I hate. There's one that I could have absolutely done without because it involves the brawling birds. But other than
Yeah,
that,
we got a little too much of them today.
other than that, like I think they just put together a really serviceable fucking show. I don't.
Agreed. There was no stinker match, even though I was not a fan going in.
No, I went into this thinking like a couple of the matches I saw I knew were going to be good. Like you'd mentioned that they added the trios or the 3-way match or something. I believe it was a 3-way match that they added.
They added the trios match between of Bandito, Brody, and Speedball against the Don Callis people, and then Commander versus Mox. Which Commander versus Mox tried to bore me to death,
Tried to until the end.
but it got it got serviceable towards the end, where that was the low part of the show. The ending made up for that. The first hour is a banger.
Yeah.
It's the second hour that kind of fell a little bit, but then by the end it picked back up.
Right. So we're gonna just jump into this. By the way, before we get too far into this, make sure to like, sub, comment, do all the things. Tell us what you thought of tonight's Dynamite.
Yeah, comment like the last person did. Tell us to retire. It's
Yeah.
not happening. We do this for kicks. But
it's time to retire. Yes. Thank you for watching 13 seconds of our video and readings that we thought it was a terrible collision. Or no, a terrible pay-per-view because I was on our pay-per-view review.
yeah, it was the redemption show.
Anyways, so we start off with a recap of the end of Redemption, but it was mixed in with some backstage stuff going on with the Death Riders that I actually thought was really fucking cool. How they put it together. Um, so like the Death Riders obviously got basically walked off after everything had happened, and apparently somehow they made it to the back and sat down with enough time
To watch it all transpire, which
to
was bullshit, but
yeah
okay.
to watch everything
I get what you're
transpire.
saying.
And even Mox is like, if you just hit him now, all will be forgiven. It's not a big deal. And that's not what happened, obviously, because we know what happened at Redemption. And Mox was just basically not happy. The Death Riders weren't happy because everything they tried to do for Will, it apparently meant nothing and amounted to nothing because he just falls back into his same old ways. And which is funny because honestly, it means more to Osprey's character than anything.
Right. Will is been consistent,
Yeah,
and they've been trying to pull him to the dark side, so to speak. And
he finally was like,
like he explains it in greater detail at the very end of the show, which you should definitely go out of your way to see the end promo, the end segment of the entire show. It was
Yeah.
pretty good. Probably the best promo segment the company's ever had. And that's
Um,
saying a lot because they had Punk and MJF feud against each other.
yeah. Backstage, Will arrives to the arena and he's approached by the Death Riders. Garcia immediately got hidden bladed.
He called him young boy Billy, and got his head taken off. And I clapped out loud, like standing ovation immediately, because
the
Daniel Garcia's voice just kind of
the
irks my ear, anyways, and he just obliterated him from jump.
the only person I would have rather seen get hidden bladed at that exact moment actually would have been Yuta, just because I like
Yuta
Garcia
doesn't
a
talk
little
as
more than Yuta.
much. So I like Garcia's wrestling more than I like Yuta's, but Yuta doesn't talk as much as Garcia, and Garcia's voice for some reason just nags at me.
But yeah, no. Yeah, he got hidden bladed pretty much immediately, and then Mox held everybody back because like Pac
Oh, Pac was about to get in his shit.
wanted to beat the hell out of him. And Mox was like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And Will's like, "Look, you're not going to get to pull the trigger for me." He hands back the patch, says that he's out, and Mox is like, "Oh well, you seem to have it all figured out." And they parted and let Will walk through, and they're eventually gonna fuck this man up at some point.
Right. And then this part kind of went a little sour for me because of who popped up next.
Oh, well, yeah, you're not a fan. I loved it though. So then he's approached by Hangman, who at least was there tonight for once. It's nice to see that
Yeah, he didn't just show up on a collision, talk about planting seeds, and
he
then
must
leave
have
again
he
for several weeks.
he must have watered his flowers in time to to make the plane.
Right.
Um, Hangman's like, "Hey, I was gonna give you hell for joining with the Death Riders." He's like, "But you know what? I'm not gonna put my nose in your business." Yeah, you seem to have figured everything out. He's like, "But if you need anything, let me know." And Will's like, "Look, I appreciate it. I've got a lot going on. I can't trust anyone that includes you. I got to do this on my own." And Hangman is like, "Look, you're one of the best I've ever been in the ring with, and you've got this." And Will's like, "All right, thanks, man." And they bounce. Uh, match one. Hold on 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Match one. Oh yeah, Will's like, "Thanks, man," and then we move on. Match one. AEW National Championship match. Andrade El Idolo versus Nick Wayne versus Jack Perry. A lot of people were complaining about this match online before today
That
happened.
was my match of the night. Why would they complain?
So people were complaining because they don't like, for whatever reason, that AEW just throws a bunch of title matches out on their shows. And I honestly, that's one of the things I do like about AEW is they put title matches on TV.
One's a former national champion, and one's been actually doing very well. So
Right.
this didn't bother me. This didn't seem egregious at all. This wasn't just some person who was on the lower card and then just showed up to get a match.
Right.
They both were just in pay-per-view matches, and
First
yeah,
shot at
this
this
wasn't.
title, actually.
This wasn't egregious.
um, Now, with that being said, I agree. This match was my match of the night as well. And these three men went ham. It was
Oh, it was a banger.
pedal to the floor, balls to the wall, all gas, no brakes. Listen, whatever phrase,
Smooth as fuck.
yeah. Like nobody made any kind of mistake. I think the one time we even came close to a mistake was uh when Jack Perry tossed Nick Wayne up for Nick Wayne to hit a Hurricanrana on um Andrade, and he almost tossed Nick Wayne too far, but it didn't matter. Nick Wayne's little ass still managed to get what he needed to get what he needed in.
Yep.
There was one part where like Jack Perry hit a Hurricanrana on Andrade off the top rope, off the apron to the floor, and then immediately Nick Wayne hit him out of nowhere with a destroyer onto the floor. Looked really fucking
Yep.
good.
It was just great.
Jack Perry had a moment where he truly shined, where he was doing his tope dives to the outside on everybody, and then he did a flip to both onto both of them, and then he ended up hitting a moonsault off the top of the turnbuckle down to both of them on the floor.
Yep.
But as we all know, towards the end, Andrade hits Jack Perry with the elbow, and then he falls out the ring, and then he hits Nick Wayne with the DM, gets the win. And honestly, another part that just seemed so smooth and worked so well, Jack Perry timed it perfect to where he dives in the ring to try and get over to break up the pin, but just could not get there in time.
Doesn't make it. Yep. Little things, little subtle things where the guy just doesn't disappear to let the other two finish the match. He actually tried to make it back in to save his chance, and he just didn't get there in time.
And
very good.
Everything about this match was just fantastic. This is about as close as you're going to get to a perfect match from any any group or solo people ever. Like,
The crazy thing is,
it was good.
it was pay-per-view quality, but I still think if this was like a pay-per-view match and they like ran it back, they still could add another level to this.
Yeah,
Like they didn't do everything in their repertoires.
no, not at all.
Like they could ratchet it up again. Perfect TV match. Like really, really, really high level TV match. Like yeah, they don't get much better than this.
No. Post match, Shivani came in the ring and asked Andrade how he feels after winning last night and then, defending tonight. He says he feels tranquilo. He said he can fight anyone, but he's going to be the best national champion ever. Shivani then mentions that the casino gauntlet for All In is for the number one contendership for the world title. He asks if he's going to be in the qualifying match that's going to happen next week in Andrade's hometown because they're going to be in Mexico. And Andrade Andrade goes, "How you know?" And dude, I'm telling you what, it
Crowd was
is
into it. It was good.
it is so good to see Andrade. What I'm going to honestly say, I think, is like happy. It's the first time I've seen this man happy in wrestling in the 10 years he's been wrestling that I've seen him on TV.
Yeah, he seems at peace. He's getting a good push. He's getting TV time. He doesn't seem like the miserable shit he was the last time he was there when he was getting in
It
fights
well,
backstage.
he was miserable the last time he was in AEW. He looked miserable when he was in WWE. When he went back, he looked miserable.
Which will not do that because a failed marriage is
Yeah.
weighs heavy on people.
Well, he looked miserable his first WWE run for most of it.
Well, he was a heel. He didn't really have a babyface run. He's a hell
But
of a babyface here.
but he's got a catchphrase that everybody fucking loves. The crowd was chanting it like fucking crazy before he even got it out, and just the big smile it brought to his face, like you could tell he's truly just
Yeah, he
happy
knows
with
he's
where
over
he's at.
and he's into it. So
Yeah. So good on him. There's not too many people I would be okay with them coming back after them leaving, but he didn't leave on bad terms when he left AEW last time. It was like everybody knew he was going back to WWE. Everybody knew he was going back to try and be with his wife. So it's like you can't
yep,
be mad about that.
he
Um,
would have probably never left WWE at the time he got released. Otherwise, really,
right.
because
But yeah, no, it was just a really good post match segment. And honestly, I hadn't even noticed Shivani up until this point because Taz is on the show from the beginning. So
yep,
it was really nice to see Shivani get in the ring and do what he actually
do what
does
he's good
best.
at.
Even though he
Agreed.
did fuck up talking later when he does it again, but
Well, it is Tony Schiavone.
it is. So yeah, no, it was just a good moment. After that, backstage, the Brawling Birds are like, this isn't all elite talking. They're like, we'll take on Divine Dominion when you're ready, and MIT, pick any two people out of your group, and we'll face you either on Collision or Dynamite next week. I don't remember what they said exactly. I don't care because it's the Brawling Birds. Listen,
Birds match. It is what it is.
listen, it didn't suck. They actually didn't sound overly irritating like they normally do. But like, I just don't care. I don't like the Brawling Birds. I don't want them on my
Yeah,
TV.
they're over the top, and I just don't connect with them. I just don't.
Right. Backstage, Fletcher was like, everybody was like, or they were backstage with, was it Renee? I think she was with them.
It was Renee with Don Callis and the family.
And she was like, how's the family doing after taking all the losses that they did? And Fletcher's like, hey, hold on, I didn't lose
I
my
didn't lose.
match.
Yeah, getting it out there.
And then Callis was like, yeah, we took some L's, but Mark Davis is pissed, and you'll hear about that
And it's
later.
dangerous.
And then Kevin's like, yeah, it didn't feel good to lose. He's like, but I got to stand toe to toe with Kenny. And then like you can tell they're building up this like just seething animosity between Fletcher and Kevin, and it's fantastic.
Yep.
And then Okada comes from the door that's in the back because Kyle had just said, yeah, the international championship's staying in the family. And then Okada walks out of the door, he steps into frame, he's like, Kyle's right. The international championship is staying in the family. He smiles and then walks off, and they're
Planting
setting
those seeds.
they're setting up for him versus dude. Listen. This show has everything that pro wrestling should be.
Yes, it's building towards the big show. Mate, the only criticism I have of the entire show, especially with the last angle, I'm afraid they're going to blow their load too early,
Right.
and the rest of the build is going to be dull. They still have a bunch of matches to announce, so I'm guessing that'll be part of the build as we go. But this was so good so early because there's still 30 damn days before this show
Right.
that I'm afraid they put too much in it now, and the weeks leading up aren't going to be as good.
Right. Match 2. Kyle Fletcher, Jake Doyle, and Brian Cage versus Brodito and Speedball. And listen, I understand why the people that were in this match were in this match. Kyle's getting ready to go up against Speedball next week. And then Brian Cage and Jake Doyle have been tagging up, so it makes sense for them to be with
Yeah,
Kyle.
and they're in the DC.
And then
They're in the DC with
yeah.
Kyle.
But I would listen. This match is also fantastic. I'm not complaining
Yeah.
about this match at all. It is almost just as good as the first match. Almost.
I wouldn't go that far, but it is a good match.
However, I would have personally rather had Davis in this instead of Fletcher because I really do think Davis, Doyle, and Cage would make a hell of a trios team. Just 3 big, meaty fucking dudes.
Yeah. Maybe we get that eventually.
Anyways, per the norm, Bandito is physically impressive. This man has one of my favorite deadlift suplexes. Listen, him and Claudio are insane.
Yeah, for his size, he's just monstrously strong.
Cage powerbombed Bandito into the ring post, which is always fun. Cage does shit and just doesn't care if he hurts other people, and I think that's one of the things I like about him.
That's what it appears to be. I'm sure that's not the case,
obviously, but
there does seem to be some reckless abandon with his move set.
At one point, Brody starts striking Cage and Doyle, and the crowd just start chanting "meat" with every slap. And
that's because it was just a bunch of fucking meat slapping.
Speedball is insanely good at hitting his spin kicks. He is always fully aware of where he's at in that fucking ring, and however many rotations is needed, it doesn't matter. I've maybe seen him fuck up a spin kick twice in the like 400 he's done in the 2 years he's been there.
Well, it's on the person taking it to close the gap.
Right.
Right. So the person taking it has to be aware.
Doyle hit his body avalanche, which I always love.
Yeah.
Which right after that, Cage F5'd Brody King.
Yep.
And at this point, I'm like, this shit's just nuts. It's nuts.
It's just big meaty men throwing each other around, and yeah, good stuff.
Bandito goes for the 21 plex on Doyle. Doyle stands up and punches the shit out of him in the process.
Yeah, I forgot about that spot. That was funny.
Speedball does eventually get the win on Doyle. He hit him with one of those kicks
roll-up.
and then hit him with his little. He does a cross-armed sunset flip roll-up.
Yeah, it's like a straitjacket.
Yeah.
Roll-up.
Which is actually good for big people. As long as they can fall over.
No, he got it. It is what it is. He won, which makes sense because next week he's not.
Correct. Unless they pull some crazy shit. You never know. That's not gonna happen because they're gonna have Okada and
yeah, you don't need to throw in giant wrenches into your plans going into the big matches at the Wembley Stadium show.
Backstage, Renee's with both Cage and Cope and the Young Bucks. The Jacksons.
I didn't like this segment very much. This was probably the low point of the night for me, which sucks because I like both the Young Bucks and Page and Cope, but
I enjoyed it because it starts off very sincere. They're like the Jacksons are like, look, we're anxious. We never thought this match could ever happen. Cope's like, look, there's mutual respect on both sides. We appreciate the Bucks. We're able to keep tag team wrestling important at a time where it didn't seem like it was important really anywhere else, which is true.
that's because there was nowhere else. And
Um,
WWE has never been good at booking tag team wrestling.
and then Christian's like, listen, we didn't come back to do a retirement tour. I'm happy to hear that your wives are coming though. It's
Yeah.
all in.
What does that mean? You just hear him in the back. What does that mean?
um, the Bucks say it basically eventually starts to boil over because ego is what ego is. And the Bucks thinks that they're the best. Christian and Cope think. Well, I love Christian the way this is now like the second or third time he said it, where he's told the Bucks, he's been like, "Look, we were the best in our generation, and we're about to prove that we're the best in your generation."
Right.
Um, and the Bucks are like, "Yeah, you'll be lucky to walk out with the titles at All In." And
Yeah. Cocky Bucks just doesn't do it for me. It's just not
and,
believable.
and then Christian's like, "Hey, it seems you're trying to talk yourselves into it. Good luck with that."
Right.
I enjoyed the sit down, but I could see why it would be slow for others. Match 3, which is actually my surprise match of the night. I thought this match was going to be terrible, and it was also really fucking good. TBS Championship match, Maya World versus Persephone.
Persephone carried the match.
You've got to get off this hate train of Maya. She's been
I'm
doing
not.
so well.
She's been fine. This match was good. I hate her finish. Her finish needs work. But
Her finisher is one of my favorites.
It's a fallaway slam where she just pins them after the fallaway slam.
Yeah. No one else is doing it.
Yeah, but it's like pinning somebody off of a body slam.
Oh, it's like pinning somebody off of a German suplex? People pin people off of moves, Joe.
Which I also hate, by the way.
No, you don't.
I hate Bandito's 21 plex.
I'm not even talking about the 21 plex.
You're just talking about like a standard bridging German suplex?
Yeah. I've seen...
Who does that anymore? Honestly, I would like it more.
In fact, I've watched Takeshita do it off the top rope.
Yes. That was
to Fletcher.
Flashbacks.
Actually, to Fletcher.
Yeah, he about broke his fucking neck.
Hell of a move.
Yeah. Anyway,
I like it. I like it more when she does the roll throughs with it.
Yes, if it would have done the roll through where she does the like pin thing.
Yeah.
That would have been
But to be fair, Persephone's a big girl. So she probably did that one and then was like, no, I'm not picking your fat ass up again. And I don't mean that as in like she's actually fat. She's not. But
no, she a thick girl though.
she a thick girl. But no, I like the finish. I actually liked the way the match ended overall.
Yeah, it looks like they're setting up a 4-way for All In.
Maybe. Right now they're about to set up a tag team match. So basically, Sheeta comes out to try to interfere, and she basically slides the kendo stick into Persephone, and then she goes and distracts the ref. And for once, everything happened actually behind the ref's back, and not in his periffs, so it wasn't terribly done. She goes to use the kendo stick, and actually the production on this, camera-wise, was done really well, because it looked like Stat came from out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, because it was in tight on the action in the ring, where you couldn't see the right side of the ring where Stat was going to come into camera focus.
Right. And then Stat comes in, and she grabs the kendo stick, and she's like, no, you're not doing this. And that's when she ate the fallaway slam pin for the win. And then post-match, they celebrated together to the 90s 90s R&B television music. And then yeah, that was it. That was it. And then backstage, Davis is mad. And he hardly ever cuts a promo. I kind of wish he would more often because I actually enjoyed what he had to say.
Yep, looks like we're
Uh,
gonna get him and Osprey
next week.
next week.
He was like, look, I'm 10 pounds lighter after losing my title and I'm not happy about it. He's like, but you know what? Will Osprey, I see you don't have your friends with you anymore. He's like, and the last time we wrestled, you won because they came out and helped you. He was like, so I want a match next week at Grand Slam. Um, and expect, now that you no longer have the cool kids to sit with, that you sit with to help you. So yeah, I'm excited. We're gonna get that. We're gonna get another match between the two of them.
Yep, both the family, everybody's barred from ringside.
We hope.
Well, that's what it said.
We get a fun.
Not that that means shit, but
Yeah, we get a fun Shark Week promo with a shark dancing behind the commentary team. Listen,
poor Excalibur was freaked out.
if you're gonna throw ads at us on TV, this is how you do it. It was so much. It was
Dude,
fun. It was fun.
that was a fun ad placement. And then at the end of the first match, they were promoting the new Mortal Kombat movie going to HBO Max, and Andrade's DM was the finish them move of the night or whatever.
Yeah, which wrestling's always had stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
but that's easy, good transitional ad placement.
right, and this
Not
was
WWE does, where they just bludgeon you in the fucking head with advertising.
and the big difference too is the big difference as well is AEWs are strictly WB commercials, right?
Well, yeah,
That's
because
their home
WB
station.
it's their home station, and they have a small minority stake in the company.
So like
Allegedly.
I don't have as much of a problem when we get a Mortal Kombat moment or when we get a moment like with the Shark Week thing. But when you start constantly trying to sell me on Grubhub and fucking and all these other things.
When you randomly dress 3 tag teams up in Borderlands 3 costumes because Borderlands 3 or Borderlands 4 is coming out,
Oh, that doesn't
and
bother.
it's just an obligatory advertisement out of nowhere.
Again, depends on the superstar and what it is, because I know that Swerve has been involved with something similar to that, but it definitely fit his character.
Yeah, it didn't fit the Street Profits and whoever the other 2 teams were.
Right.
Like
Okay.
if Will Ospreay came out and he was, dressed like Assassin's Creed and it said Assassin's Creed hex on his robe, that's on brand.
Right. Listen, he had a full-on Assassin's Creed entrance, I think, at last year's All In, if I remember, or was it the year before?
Yeah, he's done it before. He's a fan.
Yeah, he is. Um,
He's got the tattoo and everything. So
yeah.
if you're willing to put it on your body, you're clearly a fan.
And I put on my notes, I said, well, this is where the show falls apart for me. In-ring segment, Willow Nightingale comes out.
This was fine at first.
So
then it got kind of bad, and then it got kind of good again, and then it got bad again.
So
it was a roller coaster.
She gets out to the ring, and once she gets out there, they first and foremost hit her with the most overly egregious amount of streamers I have ever seen.
I thought people were gonna fall over streamers
in a celebration. There's no need for that amount of streamers. I don't. This isn't a complaint, by the way. It's just it was goofy.
It was a lot of streamers.
I don't know if there was much ring left after the streamers.
You couldn't see the ring. That's why I thought somebody was going to fall over. Because Mercedes wasn't wearing boots when she came to the ring.
Crowd starts chanting, "You deserve it." Her happy cry felt really fake to me. But I know she was trying to hold it back, so I get it.
Right.
But she should have just let it happen. Like, it would be far more endearing if she would have cried out of happiness than trying to hold it back and making it seem like she's fake being emotional.
Well, maybe she didn't want her makeup to run on national TV, especially when she had to get through an angle.
Um, she said people look at her and don't understand it. The quirky, happy, nerdy person. I said, well, she's right. I'm kind of one of them. Um,
Say, yep, that's on brand.
that's about right. The nerdy I have no problem with. I am a nerd, but the whole happy, quirky thing, it drives me fucking batshit. I hate it. She talks about being. Oh, hold on, we'll get there. She talks about her road to get here this year. She talks about the injury, quote unquote, that it sent her to a dark place, and it was her mom that got her out of it. Blah 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 blah. She's like, and then she goes into her motivational poster moment, and it pissed me off. She was like, if life kicks you, and don't you dare give up. And I'm just like, listen, I am not one of those people that have ever really needed that kind of pep talk. You're either going to do something or you're not. That's it. And like, I don't get along with people that I've worked with in the past that have motivational posters up on the wall because it actually helps them through the day. Like, I don't care.
Look at you shitting on everybody else's sunshine.
It's not a it's not even real sunshine. It's fake as fuck.
It's art. I get you. I get you. It's artificial, or it
Um
feels artificial.
so yeah, I hate it. Uh
No hang in there posters on your walls. We get it.
no, I like demotivational posters.
I
Uh
like the comedy ones. I like the
my
comedy ones they make to spoof them.
my favorite one is procrastination. Why do today what you could have put off and do tomorrow?
Exactly. That's a good one.
um anyways, Monet comes out and she's like, "Look, I'm not here to bust your bubble. Just sign the fucking contract." Willow grabs the contract, puts it up to Monet's chest, and signs it on her chest. At which point,
Uh-huh.
Monet flips it back in her fucking face, and I was like, "Oh, this is great," because it actually looks like they hate each other. Like,
Right?
I'm loving this. At which point, Monet should have not talked. I do not like.
Well, the crowd tried to not the crowd tried to tell her.
Well, the problem is Monet honestly looked bad once she started talking. And
I don't know if she got rattled because of the crowd, but she had to stop and start again because
there's
they were loud.
it's not even that's not even what I mean by she sounded bad. I'm not talking about from a technical standpoint.
Talking about material?
The material she had where she I don't like this idea of like I had everything going for me and then you ruined it. Like I've never liked that angle because it makes it look like that you just suck. Like, yeah, you didn't get the job done. You didn't get the win where you needed to. Stop blaming somebody else because you couldn't get it done. That goes back to the whole hating the whole motivational thing. You shouldn't like I take accountability. You didn't you didn't get done with what you needed to get done. That's your fault.
Right?
And listen, I'm a Monet fan. I'm still rooting for her over Willow, guys. I'm just being honest. I like Monet more than Willow because I also think a heel holding a championship is far better than a face.
The chase is always better than the babyface run.
There's not many faces that can hold a title and still hold crowds' attention. Austin's one of the rare few that have been able to do it.
But if you think about it, back then he didn't hold. They never held the title long back then. It
Yeah,
was
no,
always about the chase.
yeah. Um. So, anyways, listen. If you ever want to know a lot about my personality, go read Berserk. Guts is my
It's just
favorite kind of character. Just do what you got to
just
do,
one long vengeance story.
but he doesn't bitch. Not once. He just, I'm gonna go fuck these people up. I'm gonna go fuck
No,
these
he
people
is
up.
his whole thing is his sheer will gets him through everything because he just refuses to die.
Correct. Correct. Um. So, anyways, Um, at some point, she wants Willow, or she says that at All In, and this is once the crowd starts chanting "Shut the fuck up," and she says at All In, "I'm gonna end your fairy tale. You would be nothing without me." She
It's
says,
like I made you.
I want you to admit that I made you, that I molded you." And she goes, "And at All In, I'm going to not just take your title, I'm also going to take your smile." Which is the coolest thing she said. That one sentence is like the coolest thing she said the entire time she spoke. And I wish she would have just said that and then walked off.
Yeah, it would have been better. And then, uh, sh- it, yeah,
Because,
the segment could have been so much shorter and to the point, and she could have looked like really menacing, honestly.
yeah, because then what happens is she goes to take a swing at Willow. But listen, it's hard to swing on anybody when the ring is full of fucking streamers, okay?
And you're wearing fucking heels.
Like, she couldn't move. She goes to take a swing. Divine Dominion show up. They can't even get in the ring because they're battling the streamers just as much as they are Willow, who's trying to hit her. Listen, the streamers
Yeah.
was a bad idea.
Well, just that many of them was a bad idea. You could have had balloons,
At least balloons pop when they get in your way.
right? Or you don't. You could just have them up and around. You
Like,
don't have to have them in the ring.
if this was a match, the streamers won.
Yeah.
I don't. Nobody could get a clean shot in on anybody. The coolest thing that did happen, though, listen, I'm not gonna lie. The cool thing about the streamers being in the ring is when Willow got double choke slammed onto the streamers and they kind of poofed up in the air around her.
Yep.
That was a cool effect, but you could have had that with balloons too. All right, I'm just saying.
Hey, it made that move we hate look a little better.
Um, and then the Brawling Birds come out to chase them off because fuck me.
Because one Brawling Bird segment wasn't good enough.
Yeah,
No, that's who they're fighting at the pay-per-view. It's little
it's who they're gonna.
subtle builds towards that too.
It's who's gonna beat them. And listen, it's time for Divine
It
Dominion to
is.
lose the titles. I just
It
wish there
is.
was someone else.
They honestly they need to get the straps off those two ladies, and those two ladies need to get back into singles because the TBS division needs some help.
That they do.
Actually, honestly, the entire women's division just needs an influx of folks.
Yeah. Match 4, AEW Continental Championship match, John Moxley versus Commander. I listen. This was about the time, so I had started working roughly during the women's match. So usually the back half of these shows, I don't get to take as many notes as I would like. I still have my notes up, and I take what I can. Um, Most of what I got to see with this match, I thoroughly enjoyed. I'm already a fan of Commander, though.
So it didn't pick up until Commander started doing Commander things. The first part of the match was grueling John Moxley grind his arm and do shoot style wrestling.
Listen, there was that dive that the what was it the Commander went to go do, and Mox hit a cutter out of it.
Oh yeah, he was doing all that fucking flippy shit, and Mox literally, while he's flipping, is just flipping him off, and then he lands it, and he gives him a cutter. It was the best part of the entire match.
um. Anyways, Commander starts to do a series of all his normal stuff, running and diving out the ring. One of the things that I love about Commander, something that he's really good at, is he'll be in the middle of running the ropes to do a move, and somebody will run off, but he won't just dive out. He'll actually stop and jump back in the ring, run and dive over the ropes the other way. He's got
Way.
really good control of that shit.
Yep.
But yeah, he goes for I want to say it was a moonsault, but missed, and then Mox hits him with a stomp, hits him with a
Mhm.
Death Rider, puts him in a sleeper hold, and then Commander taps out.
Yep. That's the gist of it. It was a Mox match. It was
I,
a TV match. It
I
was well executed.
my
It was
next
fine.
my next note after that is, bro, what the fuck are we doing tonight? This shit is nuts because we're still at a point in the show where usually everything is at a complete lull, and it just
Well,
keeps
they
going.
tried.
It just keeps going. Foley's with the Bang Bang Gang, and
This segment was fun.
they're tired of the dogs and the Death Riders, and they're like any combination of like it was cool because like Ace Austin got to talk a little bit, and then Colton got to talk a little bit, and then Colton tossed it off over to Juice, and then Juice kind of took over at that point. Um, or it might have been Austin. I think it was Colton though.
It was Colton.
Um, but then Juice takes over and he starts talking. He's basically like, "Look, any combination of the dogs and Death Riders, since you guys want to keep getting on our business, come find us on Collision.
Yep.
We'll have a match." And then they were like, "And if you ain't down with that, we got 2 words for you." Mick Foley goes, "Bang bang,"
Bang.
and 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 that's when Austin looks at him and goes, "No, no, any other night, we'd be down with that, but tonight, it's guns up." So
It was a fun segment.
it really was.
Mick Foley usually makes me regret that he shows up on TV so much now. This was the opposite of that, thankfully.
He doesn't even show up on TV so much. He's only on there like once every other week, and he's on
He's
pay-per-views.
been on like every week for a month, it feels like.
I did get to watch him bark at the pay-per-view, so that was funny. He was like, "You guys,"
Yeah, that didn't do anything for me.
he was like, "You guys should take this away before this gets worse."
Right?
uh Fun times. Um AEW Trios Championship match. By the way, guys, by the time this match starts, it's already 9:45, and I'm like, or no, this match was actually starting closer to 9:50, 9:55. And I was like,
Right.
man,
Oh, shit, we're gonna have an overrun.
we're gonna have an overrun. Boy, did we have an overrun. So
Yeah, we did, like a half-hour overrun.
Trios Championship match, Conglomeration versus the Demand. And honestly, these guys just started beating the hell out of each other before the bell even rung.
Yeah, the bell didn't ring for like 5 minutes. So my favorite part of before the bell didn't ring is the conglomeration's on one side of the ring and they're beating up. Oh God, who's the part of the Demand that we can never remember the name of?
Oh crap, Bishop Con.
Bishop Khan. They're fighting Bishop Khan because Ricochet's not even. He's on the ramp, and Toa is on the other side of the ring, and Toa is running all the way around the ring to then just get sidestepped to eat the steps on the entire opposite side of where he started running.
So he usually does that run around the ring to body check somebody.
I know, but he missed everybody
But he
and body
missed.
checked the steps instead. Then Ricochet did the big dive over the crowd from the ramp and
yeah, he did.
got everybody in the ring and started the match.
One of my favorite moments happened early on. Orange tagged Roddy in with his head because he had his
Yeah.
hands in his pockets. Um, this was a pretty decent match. I was enjoying it. The twist get the interference at the end, and again, the interference was done well. It was behind the ref's back. Again,
Yep.
it wasn't.
Blake Christensen hit a springboard belt shot.
He had a springboard belt shot on the Cassidy, which gave Ricochet a chance to hit his spirit gun on Cassidy. They get the win.
I'm always a fan of the spirit gun. I like that move a lot.
They get the win. I'm actually happy they did because I feel like the conglomeration have had the Trios Championships for fucking ever.
I'm not mad that Demand won. They dominated the match. They didn't need the interference spot. Why are we protecting the conglomeration?
I feel like first and foremost, this is going to set up Ricochet not being thankful for the help and treating it like they did it without the help.
He was going to do that anyways.
Right, but
the Lethal Swirl have always been just fodder for them.
Correct. But they've at least felt somewhat useful for the last few weeks.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
So I feel like this just leads more credence to when it does happen. They feel, because now that they were a help and the reason, the technical reason why the Demand won, they can be like, hey, we helped you. And then Ricochet could be like, you didn't help anybody. We didn't need you.
The Swirl's not going to be like a massive challenge for them.
No, it'll be a good
Like
match
this
though.
gives them this. I don't disagree with that. This is just like a collision match.
Well, yeah, that we see it as a collision match, but it probably will happen on a collision. I'm not saying that's going to be the pay-per-view match.
Okay.
At
With all the
most,
building towards
if it is,
the pay-per-view, this just felt it didn't
at
feel odd or anything, but
at
I just don't
most,
understand why the conglomeration needed protecting.
at most, if it is at the pay-per-view, it's going to be a pre-show. Um, but I actually, honestly, I think they could turn this into what could be a three-way trios match at the pay-per-view by the end of it.
We'll see. Hell, why not add another trio in there and just have fucking 12 people in the match? Why not?
Listen, it's all in. Don't give Tony ideas. He'll
Put
find
them
a
in a
way.
circle cage too. We've done that recently.
A lot of those same people too. Uh,
And booby trap with fireworks and stuff.
Post match, all six guys jump the conglomeration. Brody King comes out and he starts to get overwhelmed as well. It's weird that he came out. Listen, I don't know what Brody King is. He's just kind of everywhere all the time.
Hey,
Trying
we need a body. Brody King,
trying
run to the ring and be a babyface.
he's trying to help all the faces all the time. And listen, I don't hate it. It's just weird because he used to
He's
just be
just
the
a
enforcer,
nice guy.
and
Yep.
now he's just always there. But like Bandito didn't come out with him, which is probably what confused me more, because I was like,
Yeah.
usually Bandito's with him. I don't know. But then Hanger's music hits. He comes out with a steel chair wrapped in barbed wire. Everyone dips because they're like, yeah, no, fuck that thing.
Except for Jay Lethal, who
Except
tries
for
to
Jay
pick
Lethal,
up the chair and stabs himself with the barbed wire.
because he's an idiot. And then he gets taken out with a buckshot. So I still don't know what Hangman's doing. Are you going for the Trios Championship? Who's your team gonna be?
Maybe
I don't.
maybe it's going to be Brodito versus Brodito and him. That's the other trios in that match. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Um,
I figured it'd be him and Max at All In because Max will still need a. If he's healthy enough to go, Max will need a match.
right. If he's even gonna be at all in.
I think he's going to be in the gauntlet match to get a title shot.
I just hope he doesn't win. Listen, I like Max. I don't want him immediately right back
Well, he's their biggest
in a world title match.
quote unquote star. Because he
Backstage.
does movies.
Yeah. Listen, he's never the best actor in any of those movies. Not even really a good one in any of those movies. He's just there.
I've not seen any of them. I refuse to watch Happy Gilmore 2 because I'm afraid it's going to ruin my enjoyment of the first film.
It would for you. I guarantee you it would. I loved it, but you have this weird thing about holding on to old stuff. Um,
I'm old. I'm old. I run off of nostalgia.
Backstage, the Death Riders are mad. That's pretty much it. Um,
Yeah,
Garcia's
just they confirmed that they're gonna fight the Bang Bang Gang on Collision.
yeah, they confirmed they're gonna fight the Bang Bang Gang. Garcia's like, "Don't worry, Will, you're gonna get yours because young boy Will." And apparently they've got
Yeah,
their match next week or tomorrow night. Actually, tomorrow night on Collision.
it's tomorrow. Yeah, and Osprey going with dead ass.
Yeah, dude. If there's any time something needs to be a squash match,
I agree.
it's tomorrow night. He just needs to come
I
out.
want the ring and him just hidden blade the shit out of him.
And you know what? Have it where, listen, this is how I would produce the match. Have Garcia walking around the ring doing his stupid thing where he's throwing his arms up at the crowd and not paying attention. And as soon as he turns around, he just eats that fucking elbow, dude. Immediately. Get the pin, 1, 2, 3, and then have Will Ospreay leave through the crowd on his own. As a fuck you to them guys. No,
I think he needs to bail out after beating him quickly because they're going to try to jump him.
right.
And then he bails out and then he leaves through the crowd. I think that would be cool.
Although I think more than likely what's going to happen is he's going to get the win. People are going to come out, and then Hangman's going to come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably with
Because
Brody
then you can
King, because there's Brody.
because then you can have a tag match against people the following week, and you can kind of drag that stuff out a bit. So yeah, it's not bad.
And then we get to the main event. In-ring
Well,
segment.
we get to the last segment.
Yeah, the
The
main
main
event.
event was the last match.
This is the main event. Everybody, this is what people came to see. In-ring segment.
This was really good.
Tony Schiavone brings out Kenny Omega. And Kenny comes out, and immediately Will Ospreay's music hits, and Will Ospreay came out. He didn't waste any fucking time.
Yeah, Kenny didn't even get a word in.
Kenny's like, look, there's things I wanted to say to you that this crowd shouldn't hear, but since we're here, we're going to go ahead and have a little fun. He's like, this is personal. He says, at Redemption, I showed you how I felt. He said, I care about you. You mean the world to me, and I want the world for you. He said he's always put their friendship before the belt. He was in support of Will and the Owen, but Kenny is upset that Will saying Kenny gave up he was upset about Will saying that Kenny gave up on himself. He said Will never be the one that's able to talk, that can talk down to him. He said every time he tried to talk to Will about the Death Riders, Will acted like he knew better. Will says that he came back too early, or Kenny wanted to know why he was palling around with the Death Riders. And Will said that he came back too early, got wrecked, and had no one he could turn towards. He's like, but the one person that did seem to be there was Mox. He said that honestly, he did like being a Death Rider. He liked the camaraderie. He liked having people that had his back.
Like the training.
He liked the trainings that they went through. He said he even began to understand Mox's actual goals for AEW.
And why they were so protective of these three letters.
And why they were protective of it. He's like, but it stops there. He was like, I don't want to go around basically killing people.
Yeah, he doesn't condone the methods to execute said ideas.
He says, and I know how to win the title. I just have to be the best. Kenny says, basically, this is where I started to get annoyed. Kenny believes that Will actually thought about suffocating him. And honestly, the reason why that specifically annoys me the most is even when we did our review, I had even said that you could 100% tell Will was looking around to see where everybody was at because he knew he was about to have to fight off a whole fucking stable.
Well, that was your interpretation. We don't know if Ospreay's acting is just not that good. If it's hard, clearly the intent was. I don't know. I'm not gonna mix my feelings in there either. Kenny felt a certain way, so Kenny perceived it like he was gonna potentially do it, like he was thinking about it.
Right. And then he was mad that Ospreay was there to hand him his title, which I thought was really fucking weird to be mad about.
Because he was staring at it. That's mine. It's like Smeagol with the ring, man.
But Kenny starts to play the victim with Will, and it confused the shit out of me.
He started to get a little dramatic. Yeah, he started to get a little dramatic. Well, Ospreay told him that he didn't have it anymore, man. So he kind of took it a little personally.
He should have. Because you know what?
Wrong.
No, he proved himself wrong because he didn't believe he had it anymore.
Yeah, that's true because he did even state that himself.
Anyways, he starts to get all whiny, starts slapping Will. Will finally slapped the shit out this man.
Oh, dude, they were laying him in. Kenny slapped the first slap was the best. The other ones he was just slapping him on the neck.
Right.
But the first one where he slapped him right across the face, I was like, ooh.
He slaps the shit out of Kenny. Kenny stumbles, kneels down, and Will sets up to run and hit the hidden blade. And as he runs up to hit the hidden blade, Kenny cowers in the corner and Will stops. And then he grabs the mic. And at that point, Kenny grabs the title, rolls out the ring. And Will is like, listen, you lay your hands on me, I'm going to beat the shit out you. He said, look, when I came into this company and I walked, he's like, I came out and I walked across these letters and I filled in while you were gone. He was like, he's like, the main player wants people want to be the main player. The main player wants the ball. I want the ball.
Started dipping into sports and soccer metaphors,
Um,
and
well, the soccer metaphor actually made sense for the situation.
they all make sense if you understand the metaphors, but it's just
Right. Uh, he references England's really bad penalty kicking that happened in the
well, forever.
yeah, apparently forever. Uh, but yeah, basically he was like, "Look, I'm coming for that championship," and that's pretty much how it ended. And listen, this was an amazing moment, and I listen. I don't want them to do what WWE did with Punk and Roman. I don't want them to come out and keep having back and forths.
No, because they're not going to be able to. Even Punk and Romans kind of got lesser and lesser and lesser.
Well,
These guys can't afford
and
to have that happen.
and that was our problem, and that's why I chose the Punk Roman situation because their first
Because
promo,
it peaked early. It peaked early.
yeah, their first promo had the same kind of fire, and we were even like, dude, this was one of the best promos we've heard this year. And
Yep.
then it never ever came close to that again, ever.
No, this was more like a go home.
And this has that same
To
feel. Like
Yeah, I agree.
they came out, knocked it out of the park, and here's what I want from them moving forward. I just want them beating the fuck out of each other. Like, if you want to build up more for this match between the two of them, this I kid you not. I would have Kenny come out or Will, whichever one you want to start it off with. Have one of them come out to cut a promo, make it 2 to 3 words in before the other one just storms the ring and beats the shit out of them. And then
Yeah,
just
I think you have to have Kenny go first because he got kind of upstaged at the end of his own celebration thing.
right.
But yeah, Will's it's got to be tit for tat until the last week, and then they need to be pulled apart and kept separate
And
because then at that point you can't risk the main event.
and don't be afraid to do things where say Will comes out or say Kenny comes out and jumps Will. They get pulled apart. They go backstage. Don't be afraid to have a backstage segment on the same night where Will's backstage looking for Kenny.
Yep.
They don't have to have a back and forth conversation. Just make it look like they really want to get at each other. That's all you need to do.
No, at this point, words are your enemy. You don't want them trading words.
No.
The words are done. It's never going to be better than that was.
So yeah, I look forward to I look forward, but I'm also hesitant to see where this
Yeah.
goes.
TK puts on
And
banger pay-per-views, but the builds are usually
and the thing that worries me the most, and we talked about this whole show did what I've never seen another full show ever do, and that's really put the storytelling first
yep,
and
and
use
had
it
awesome wrestling.
and still had banger matches.
Yep.
They didn't skimp on the wrestling. They had 1 to 3 less matches than they normally would on a Dynamite. But everything felt more meaningful
Yep.
the way that it was presented.
1000% agree. 1000% agree.
And I'm worried like I want TK to learn from this and be like, "Man, this really was just a fantastic show." Because listen, these are just the main people that you know you're working with. You still have a bunch of other stuff to set up because you still got MJF
Yeah,
who don't have anything. You still got Swerve Strickland who doesn't have anything. You still have to find some way somehow, hopefully, to get Samoa Joe involved in something. Because
this whole show only built 2 matches.
yeah,
The 2 world matches, the women's world title match and the men's world title match. Everything
but
else on that inevitably 10 to fucking 12 match card is wide open.
Yeah. Well, and this also planted seeds for other things that could possibly happen because it could also be building depending on how they decide to develop the future of everything going on. It can help push forward the development of the TBS championship picture with what they've got going on
And the
there.
ladies tag
The
and the
ladies
ladies tag
tag,
team one.
they kind of planted some seeds for the ladies tag. We obviously know about the men's tag, but there still can be seeds planted for that to change, hopefully to some degree, because I'm still hoping for the three-way match if I'm being honest. um there was one other thing. Oh, seeing what the trios thing could end up being, to see how where this all leads as well. So there's
Right.
seeds for things to develop, and that's what's important. And I just hope Tony takes advantage of that. Do I have the faith that he's going to? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I do not. But at least for one night, and for once after a pay-per-view, they knocked it out the fucking park. I'm actually
Agreed.
I'm actually interested to see what Alvarez has to say because usually he's the one currently that's been shitting on the product as a whole, wrestling as a whole, period. Because he's also been really shitting on WWE a lot.
That's because the fucking business has been kind of shit. But
um,
Alvarez complains about most of the same things we complain about.
right. I'm just curious if he's going to think it was also a good show overall. We all know that Meltzer's going to think
Oh,
it
I
was
think they
great.
will. Yeah.
Meltzer probably
Unfortunately.
thinks Redemption was a top 5 pay-per-view all time. Um, Fucking weirdo, dude.
It's literally whatever is the new thing is he just latches onto.
There's not one anti AEW comment in that man's body, and it drives me nuts because, like, listen, no company is perfect, regardless of how much you love what that company does.
Agreed.
And even tonight, listen, it was a damn near, in my opinion, damn near perfect show. But you still had moments like the Brawling Birds. Um,
That's just our preferences, not them.
right?
But wrestling shows don't have to be for everybody all the time. The
No.
good thing about wrestling is the variety.
And that's like me being the whole anti Willow thing, guys. Look, I'm actually happy for Willow. I actually think she's a very important lady on the roster. She just does nothing for me personally. I don't enjoy her
Right.
character. I don't enjoy most of what she does in the ring. Um,
And I also don't hate Maya World.
right. I'll believe that one day, maybe. Um, I'm kidding.
It's not her fault she got this push.
But no, well, that could be a whole podcast in and of its own talking shit about Meltzer. It really could. And
Yeah,
I don't even hate
agreed.
Meltzer if I'm being honest. I think I like his match ratings and how he goes about those. I think those are fun.
I think he is an excellent wrestling historian who has a who has seen a lot of things and can have a lot of really interesting context to things.
Right.
But I think he believes his own hype, and I think that he just makes shit up sometimes.
Right.
And yeah,
I think all of them make shit up except for everybody I feel like in the industry that does any kind of podcast conversation except for us. We don't make shit up because we're not, well,
we're more of an opinion thing and not
we're an opinion
a
thing. What
yeah,
I And there's
we're
times I'm
not
wrong
covering
about things.
we're not
So
beat writers and shit.
so something I want to talk about, things we were wrong, that I found out we were actually wrong about. So there was no chance in hell that the New Day could have shown up at Redemption because they're not available to show up until this Saturday anywhere new. I
Yeah, I saw that.
I thought their time was already up, which is why I thought there was a good chance, or I was hoping they were going to show up at Redemption. I was wrong on that. Um, Motor City Machine Guns could still show up. They could still show up tomorrow night. They're still in Detroit tomorrow night. I'm hoping. I really am hoping that
That
in
would be dope.
some capacity, because at this point, I say you have Motor City Machine Guns debut in their hometown, and then have the New Day debut at All In.
Yeah.
Um, listen, hear me out as well. Hear me out as well. Do you want to do something different, Tony? You like to do all these fucking casino gauntlet matches? Have a casino gauntlet tag.
That's a lot of people. There's only one ring, bro.
Yeah, there's only ever two people in the ring at any given time, anyways. They're usually all fighting on the outside of the ring. Why are you staring at me like that? It's not even close to time to eat.
Cat problems.
Actually, it is close to time to eat. Anyways, it was a great show. I loved it, and let's just watch how it all falls apart tomorrow because tomorrow's Collision, and I just don't have faith. If I'm being honest, I don't.
Well, it's a Collision, so Collision should not be held to the same standard as Dynamite.
I wish they would start doing enough to make it the same standard
I
as
agree.
Dynamite.
I agree, but I just
People are
don't
more
think they have it in them.
people are more likely to watch it if you actually do important things on it.
Agreed.
All right, guys, that's gonna do
Then
it.
you can like actually cover those segments of things that happened on your Dynamite show, and maybe you know have segments recapping that stuff, so all your television seems like it's one cohesive thing.
Right, right. All right, guys, we love y'all. We'll talk to y'all next time. Deuces.
Later.